various countries has been changing. So here we go. So if you look at the years, the first one is a comparison. There are 2 years that are given, a decade of 2009 to 10 and 2021 to 22. Now, if you look at the latest, the number one supplier to India today is Iraq, followed by Saudi Arabia, and then you see how United States is a major player now. United States and Russia is also coming in, UAE is coming in, and there is no Iran. You see this? So what happens next is it possible that because India is not towing the line of the United States, that United States said, we are reconsidering whether we should give you crude or not, or whether we should allow you to continue the same facility that you are doing with Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, through Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. It's essentially American oil, but it is stored in Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. India could go and withdraw from there. So is US getting India out of its loop? Because US also has its own requirements, and US stopped using shale to process crude, or I should say to extract crude. So US has its own problems. So just keep that in mind. US has problems, and Iran has not been able to sell to anyone. So Iran has its own set of problems. And thirdly, Russia has told India that it can only satisfy the requirement of Indian Oil Corporation. And when HP and BP, Hindustan Petroleum and Bharat Petroleum, asked Rosneft, they said, no, we don't have any more crude available for you. So you have two companies, BP and HP, now scrambling to try and get their crude requirements. Otherwise, their stations will run dry. That's a problem. So where does all these things happen with the Nupur Gate? You know that Qatar and Iran are more or less, two peas in the same pot. And therefore, is this Iran's way of trying to, come into India to sell crude, now that the United States under the Biden regime might not sanction India if it says, okay, you don't want to provide crude to us, we are going to go and buy it from Iran. So if that is the case, was this whole Nupur Gate a way to exert pressure on India? The problem is now India has a tricky situation. It needs crude, and it used to have some good deals. Now those deals are maybe up in the air. We don't know. I mean, I have not seen any announcement from the United States saying that they are cutting off whatever was the agreement they had with India. So there's a bit of a clamor, a scramble going on, if you will. But definitely the one source that India can bank upon is Iran, assuming Uncle Sam doesn't mind. Is this what going to happen? But more importantly, you see, Qatar has been a very mischievous person in this whole thing. Because if it was Qatar who started the ball rolling, they sort of insulted the Vice President of India. And I don't know how India will pay them back. Modi has a very deep memory. He is not someone who forgets these slights. So it is possible that India will pay Qatar back in another way. For example, Qatar doesn't have any food. It imports all its food. And guess where the food goes from? You guessed it right, Mumbai. So anyway, that's just one place. You never know. I mean, there may be some other suppliers too now. But it used to be that Middle East eggs, Middle East meat, Middle East.
क्या आपने उसको डिस्कवर करा? आप मतलब अरब वर्ल्ड, क्या आपने उसको डिस्कवर करा? नहीं, आपको तो पता भी नहीं था. ये तो भेड़ चराते थे यार. ये 2 जनरेशन पहले भेड़ चराते थे. बेडोइन्स थे, यहाँ गए वहां गए, जहां घास मिली, ओएसिस मिला, ऊंट था. इनका तो यही मामला था. दे वर वेरी वेरी पुअर. अंग्रेज आया, गोरे ने बोला भाई ये तेल है. भारत में काफी वामपंथी हैं और लेफ्ट वाले हैं, कुछ ऑपोजिशन पार्टीज वाले हैं, कुछ रेडिकल इस्लामिस्ट्स हैं. उनका कहना साहब 1 करोड़ हमारे वर्कर हैं और 1 करोड़ वर्कर को अगर उन्होंने निकाल दिया वहां. ये सब देखिए, ये हल्की बातें करते हैं लोग. दीज पीपल डोंट हैव एनी ब्रेन्स. इनका दिमाग तो है नहीं. वहां पे 1 करोड़ वर्कर को बैठा के कोई खिला नहीं रहा है. They are running those countries' economies. मैं आज आपको बोल रहा हूं वहां पे इंडियन वर्कर्स क्यों हैं? क्यों बुलाए आपने इंडियन वर्कर्स? आपने कहा लिया पूरे के पूरे हदीस को उसने बोला कि यार दिस वाज रिटन आफ्टर द डेथ ऑफ द प्रॉफिट, 200-300 years आफ्टर द डेथ ऑफ द प्रॉफिट मोहम्मद के मरने के बाद आपने सारी हदीस लिखी है। मोहम्मद बिन सलमान ने मना कर दिया, किसी ने चू नहीं करी, कुछ नहीं बोला किसी ने, क्योंकि सऊदी अरब था। जो शिंजियांग फाइल्स करके ना, पुलिस फाइल्स करके जो वेबसाइट भी आई है, उसके अंदर हजारों नाम, हजारों फोटोज दे रखी हैं ऐसे लोगों की जो मुसलमानों की हैं, जिनको चीन न मार दे इनकी हिम्मत नहीं है। ये तो बीजेपी की स्पोक्स पर्सन है नुपुर शर्मा, उसने कुछ मुंह से बोल दिया तो इनका मुंह सूज गया। वहां पे मोहम्मद नाम रखना अलाउड नहीं है, गवर्नमेंट जॉब नहीं मिलेगी, कोई रोजे नहीं रखेगा, तुम ऑफिस टाइम में नमाज नहीं पढ़ सकते। गोबल्स हिटलर का प्रोपेगेंडा मिनिस्टर था, उसके बाद अगर उस ईवल और क्लिनिकल एफिशिएंसी के साथ अगर किसी ने प्रोपेगेंडा करा है तो अल जजीरा ने करा है। एंड अल जजीरा इज it is not Al Jazeera is not about freedom of speech. Al Jazeera is not about freedom of speech. Al Jazeera is about supporting jihad. Al Jazeera is about radical Islam. It's about political Islam. And Al Jazeera ने कभी मुसलमानों के भलाई की बात नहीं करी। ये फितना चाहता है, अल जजीरा फसाद चाहता है, और वही चाहता है जो कतर का स्टेट चाहता है, जो कतर की रूलिंग फैमिली है, रूलिंग क्लास है, जो चाहता है उनका हुक्म बजाता है अल जजीरा।